Hey guys, in science we're learning all about being a scientist. And so I wanted to go over with you guys, what is a scientist? What can they do? What are some things that make a scientist a scientist? And so I wrote over here scientists for us, and then I drew a little scientist. And so if you notice, our scientist, he is wearing some things to protect him. And so most of the time, scientists, they wear things to protect them. They wear lab coats to protect their clothes, and they wear goggles to protect their eyes. And a lot of times they wear gloves. We can't see him, his hands are in his pockets. And this is kind of like us. Well, we wear masks outside now to protect ourselves from the virus. Scientists have to wear all this stuff to protect themselves from the things that they're using in their experiments. And so some other things that scientists do, and you're gonna actually get to be a scientist this year. And so some things that you're gonna do whenever it's time for you to be a scientist are some of the things that are on this chart. We don't have to do all of them, but we are going to do some of them. So like you might not wear a lab coat at your house because we don't really need to wear a lab coat. That's okay. But some of these other things you're definitely gonna need to make sure that you're doing. So one of the things that scientists always do is they always think in their brain. You have to have your brain turned on to be a scientist. Your brain can't be turned off. Scientists are super smart people, and you guys are super smart people. So anytime it's time for us to be a scientist, we are going to be thinking with our brains, okay? They look with their eyes, okay? So they're not trying to do their science experiment with their eyes closed. That would be crazy. They're looking with their eyes and looking at what is going on in their experiments. So we're gonna make sure that we're looking with our eyes. Sometimes they taste with their mouth. Now this one is something that you have to make sure that either your parent or your teacher tells you is okay to do, because sometimes if we taste things with our mouth that we're not supposed to, we can get really, really sick. And so sometimes though, there will be experiments that we do where you will be able to actually taste what we're experimenting with. So if we taste, we use our mouth to taste. Scientists touch things with their hands. Again, you have to make sure that your teacher or your parent tells you before you touch something with your hands, because it could be dangerous to your skin. And if it's dangerous to your skin, you want to make sure you have on gloves. But sometimes we can touch things with our hands so that we can know a little bit more about them. Ooh, scientists are careful. That is something we really, really, really want to make sure that we're doing always when we're doing science, is we're super careful, because sometimes we're using things and we don't want to spill them or knock them over or break them. So we want to make sure we're very careful when we're being scientists. Scientists smell with their nose. So we know that we use our nose to smell things, right? When you are being a scientist, you're not gonna just take something and stick it to your nose and sniff it, because sometimes the smell of it can give you a headache and can make you sick. So whenever we're being scientists, we can take the thing that we're gonna smell and we're gonna take our hand and we're gonna wave the smell at us. So that way we can smell it, but we're not sticking our nose in it and getting sick if it's something that is a stinky smell. They listen with their ears. So we have to make sure our ears are turned on when we're scientists. You want to make sure you're listening to your teacher or your parent when you're doing a science experiment, because if you're not listening carefully, you could do it wrong and it could make like an explosion or something, and that would not be good. That would not be what we want to do. And the most important thing that scientists do is they follow directions. They always have to make sure they're following the directions so that they do the experiment the right way. All right, guys? So now you guys know a little bit more about what scientists do, and we'll learn more about scientists throughout the year, but I think you guys are ready to start being scientists. That's super awesome. Great job, guys. See you later.